What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thank you for tuning in yet again to another episode of Ken Ross present the Yeah I Said It podcast. We're expressing what our full capabilities. So you might want to say correctional facilities, brainchild of my child, out the dad half of this operation, coming to you live and in public, if you will. Ross Cooper, as always, I am rocking with the best. My co-host, please introduce yourself to the folk.
The world doesn't care about right or wrong. It's all about power. And right now, none of us have it. Yeah, I was good. Everybody was having a good day, year, hour, month, second, all that good stuff. You watched all the platforms. Please share with your friends, your family, your pets, your bugs on the wall, aliens outside, mailman, fire jets that just fly over your house randomly. Yeah. Um, and if you're watching on the YouTube, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Because if you don't, you're gonna get fire jets flying over your house randomly.
Go with I'll let you explain that in a minute. But as you can see, we have a guest back with us, back from the town. Had to represent, of course, Buffalo Brothers. Please introduce yourself to the folk.
All right, I'm coming back fresh off my stint of trying out for the Australian Olympic breakdance team. I came in second on the for the tryouts, so I'm try again whenever they bring it back to the Olympics. All right, my name is Shaun, the host of Intelligent Black Thoughts. You can find it on your favorite streaming platform. And it's great to be back with you, Ross.
Yeah, buddy, we gonna get right into it. You just touched on it. But hold up. What, hey, what is flying over your house, man? What is going on?
I don't know. The government should tell me. I was just, you know, going for a walk, whatever, and then you just see everybody looking up. That's usually not a good sign. So I was like, oh shit. And I look up and just like four of them joints just boom, just go. And then there's one more behind it, just go. So I'm just looking like, oh, all right.
Y'all got an Air
Hope
Force
there's
base?
protocol. Huh?
Yeah, the Air Force base near y'all.
Hell,
Andrews.
Oh, yeah, that's probably what they're doing. They're probably training flights.
and that's why I'm hoping that's the case. Sure, this climate now. But yeah.
Not Water Worlds, huh? Not
The
Water
stuff I
Worlds.
the stuff I took for granted being in the military, like civilians, like, what the heck is going on out here? We just like, oh, they just training flights, you know? Like,
We rarely ever see that here. That's why when I do see it, it's all right. What's up?
Yeah,
You know?
you up there in Baltimore, so Andrews is not too far from you. And you around the corner from DC, so who knows?
yeah, true indeed.
That's what I'm thinking is that. I hope it's that. If not, I will find out one day. But yeah,
It might be chasing Epstein plane.
Okay,
or to give him an escort. But go ahead. Let's go.
let's get into it. First up, this is interesting. Shaun sent it to me and sent it to you guys. If anybody caught the Olympics, breakdancing, got hit the b-boy stance. Breakdancing became an Olympic sport somehow. But grand opening, grand closing. I understand we're going to dive into this because it's worth mentioning. However, they've already said there will be no breakdancing in 2028. So grand opening, grand closing. The biggest, I will say, embarrassment was the competitor that represented Australia. Australia, you should all be ashamed of yourselves. Australia has brought us Crocodile Dundee, has brought us Iggy Azalea. Well,
that's not a good thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, neither one of those.
Right.
The best thing they brought us was Crocodile Hunter. That was it.
Yeah, I'm about to say Steve Irwin. Shout out to you.
That was it.
That's the man.
The Crocodile Hunter, yeah. But this right here, I mean, Iggy Azalea, she was popping for like 2 minutes.
No.
One TI.
No, listen, Raygun went to the Iggy Azalea School of Appropriation. Yeah, no, we
Yep.
Iggy don't get no love.
None.
So Raygun, as she was called, represented Australia, and it's not breakdancing. It looked more like interpretive dance gone way, way wrong. And I think we all walked away with so many questions. And Dr. Stacey Patton, if you don't know Dr. Stacey Patton, you really need to become familiar. She's one of my favorite people because she is a pioneer of gentle parenting. and the psychoses really that goes behind beating on your kids. But Stacey Patton wrote a very good article about how white women have forced themselves into certain spaces, and this is just another case of that. And I just walked away with serious questions, and there's no way that I'm not going to be able to talk about and touch on this without sounding like a bit of a homer, a bit of a New York lover. But hey, if you've been paying attention to me, you know that's the case anyway. So I'll take that. Um, Breakdance, for those who don't know, originated. It is one of the four pillars of hip hop, along with DJing, along with rap. I'm sorry, you said five. So there's graffiti, DJing, breaking, rap. What's the fifth?
Fashion.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Hip hop fashion has always been a part of the hip hop community. From Dapper Dan up until now, from tracksuits and Pumas and suede Pumas up until now.
Yeah. So I guess my only issue is that a hip hop thing or is that just a black thing?
Well, hip hop and those were almost synonymous, but not all black people was wearing those outfits in them days. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, you look at some of the cats that was older that wasn't the breakdancing scene. They was wearing Levi's and Lee jeans and cowboy boots and stuff like that. You know, we was dressing like that, wearing them wingtip shoes and Stacey Adams and shirts unbuttoned down to your sternum. So the hip hop crowd was always the younger crowd. They was out there in the track suits, the Adidas suits, the shell toe Adidas with no laces. You know, that was, that's the hip. You know, you could always tell somebody who listened to hip hop and rap in them days compared to the older crowd that was the get off my lawn, ain't nothing better than Al Green. You know what I'm saying?
True, but I'm like, there were fashion trends that were definitely black that didn't correlate to hip hop. Like the Coolie High thing Philly came with when Boyz II Men dropped. That wasn't hip hop. That was their own fashion. But I get what you're saying. Like I can certainly see where fashion could be the fifth pillar of hip hop. I'm not too mad at that because there's certain things that are, I got you. Because I was trying to think like Tim's is immediately connected to hip hop. But I think Tim's is a New York thing, whether hip hop had it or not.
Everybody got their regional things that's hip hop for them. You know what I'm saying? Like in Cali, it's Dickies and Croakers or Cortez. Depending on they're not if you Mexican or black or whatever. Everybody had their flair on hip hop, but that's what fashion has always been an integral part of it. I mean.
But that notwithstanding, if anyone has not seen this performance, I can't, to call it breakdancing is insulting. I have so many questions, like breaking being what it is. If you know the origins, you talking Crazy Legs and the Rocksteady crew immediately come to mind. Breakdancing to help hip hop go mainstream with the movies Breaking and Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo, Beach Street. So from mid 80s forward, breaking was a part of a real integral piece of the culture. And it just watching this, it just felt like, are you disrespecting the culture? Like who what are the criteria? Who sanctioned this? Like, what are you doing?
I don't think that so I didn't really feel like having breakdancing at the Olympics disrespected the culture. I think that some of the countries with their choices of who they were going to send. Now, breakdancing is something that really Black people have. It's something that we don't do as a whole anymore. We left it behind, and we're not going to lie, but there were still some good breakdancers out there. There was this one Black dude from Houston, but also the breakdancing community, they didn't really send their best breakdancers because they were like, this is an art form. It's not a sport. And so once you start judging an art form, then you start wanting to put a rating on the technical proficiency, and then you get people like Raygun out there doing stuff like that instead of out there hitting the moves that we know is breakdancing, because it don't have to be all power moves. You know what I'm saying? That was her excuse where I couldn't do the power moves like windmills, head spins, stuff like that. But it was people out there that didn't do the power moves and they were still breakdancing. You know what I'm saying? You know, they were still out there doing my boy Shabba-Doo. They were still doing the Shabba-Doo. He didn't do the power moves.
Right. And if you don't know who Shabba is, go back and watch the breaking moves we just referenced. I didn't feel the level of disrespect that Stacy mentioned in her article, but I do get where she's coming from. And it's like, I, I just watched this thing like, and I felt better once I saw other breakers actually stay true to form.
Yes.
That's the thing.
I think that Reagan is the one who disrespected the art, but she's a ballroom dancer who was determined to get onto the Olympics because she tried to get ballroom dancing in the Olympics. She is like on some kind of committee, like some kind of international ballroom dancing committee, because they're the ones that's actually responsible for getting breakdancing. The Olympics was like, no, we don't want to do ballroom dancing. It's too dated. So they pivoted to breakdancing. You know what I'm saying? And so they got breakdancing there. Because, I watched the Jabberwockies and they was better than anybody that was up on that stage. And so, well, I'm a lion because it was this one dude. I can't remember his name. This Asian dude. He was nice. He was nice. He did all the power moves. He did windmills, backflips, spun on his head. Like I was like, yo, he killing it. He didn't even get a medal. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all the stuff that we know was breakdancing didn't even medal.
Like if you want to go and get Crazy Legs, the Rocksteady Crew, hell, even Alfonso Ribeiro to be a judge, like who would you?
But Judge White Chicks. He ain't ours no more.
What?
He ain't been ours since Michael Jackson head caught on fire, man. He ain't ours.
Wow. See, I thought the Carlton was a character. Kane, when you saw
didn't see that video of him like screen on stage talking about how he love the white girls, how he only date the white girls. Yeah, that whole No, this Carlton is it's a little bit of an act, but that's his shtick.
Oh my God. Okay. There we go. Kane, from what you've seen, is by the time you really got down with hip hop, breaking was a thing of the past. When you saw this, what were you thinking, man? What were your thoughts?
Disclaimer, I did not watch it. But I can imagine from the reaction from everybody and hearing y'all talk, it was horrible. So I guess it was Iggy Azalea rapping style type stuff. So here you go.
Only Australia though. It was some good breakdancers. It was some good breakdancers. It's just that she overshadowed the good breakdancers, but because she was just so bad. And I saw her final. Somebody, TikTok, they find everything. They found the finals in Oceania, and the girl that she beat was better than her. It looked just like the matchup she had against that Asian girl from California. It looked just like the same matchup. She lost, and they sent her anyway because she's a prominent name. She is a prime example of theory versus practice. She's got a PhD in breakdancing. Where they do that at? Well, Australia, obviously, because I ain't never heard of that.
Australia is another new world.
They wild.
They got all types of that. They live in Jurassic period. I'm serious. Everything they can do.
I know, right?
Everything, like I said, they normal spiders the size of my cat. I don't want nothing to do with that. But yeah, Australia is special. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, I'm just hearing Iggy Azalea of breakdance. That's what I'm hearing.
That's a good and apt comparison.
Well, it's gone now, which is messed up.
Considering the Olympics is here. I think it was coming back. It was only on a trial basis anyway. And like breakdancing gone is overshadowing boxing is gone. This was the last Olympics for boxing.
Wow.
Why is that?
I don't know. But boxing isn't as popular as it used to be at the Olympics, but it always seemed to be a great stepping stone for professional fighters. Well, we know when they were amateur fighters, the Olympics is the pinnacle of amateur fighting before they had pro. It's where they get, where they get known. And that's crazy to me because I think they've been around since 1904. So for 120 years, they've had boxing in the Olympics, and they ain't gonna have it no more.
Yeah, something I've heard, and I don't know how true it is there, and I don't think it's gonna be the case, but just something I've heard floated was that they're getting rid of things that are subjective, that don't have a clear
winner.
Right.
I can see that. I could see that because the sports they added was baseball, softball, squash, cricket, like stuff where it's a score, where they keep in score. Now, gymnastics will probably be the only sport. Well, they keep it down. They're going to keep synchronized swimming, but they've streamlined the judging on that. Like now, they streamlined the judging, so you'll basically know what you're going to score, even if you mess up. So people like Simone Biles isn't penalized for doing more difficult stuff. But gymnastics probably going to be one of the last holdovers of where it's just subjective scoring.
And what I also don't want to miss, because this was important, I didn't know this was a rule, but I guess after Tommy and our mans did it way back when. I'd like to see when this became a rule. There was actually a breakdancer that was disqualified for wearing a free Afghan women cape. And I didn't realize the Olympics now had a rule where if you do any kind of protest, you will be disqualified.
I did not know that either because that's where our man's John Smith and
Tom Carlos.
And John Carlos and Tommy Smith, where they did the fist, and it was a big deal at the '68 Olympics. So
exactly.
I'm not sure. I don't know when that came about. Like,
because I'm curious. Because I'm reading now. Want to definitely shout her name out, Maniza Talash. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Known competitively as B-Girl Talash. She was disqualified because she wore a cape that said "Free Afghan Women." And
the thing disqualified Lil Nika for being too close to Lil Nigga in Black August and wearing a do-rag. But she was allowed to do that. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? It was just so many layers to dancing.
And a shout out to you, brothers, and a couple other people I know. I was sitting there struggling because we talked about it briefly. Like, I find it a struggle to be patriotic in any way, shape, or form. I live here, but I don't find myself rooting for anything American. If LeBron and them boys lost, I wasn't gonna lose my shit. This ain't like a few Olympics ago when the Americans went to the Olympics and lost in basketball. It's like, oh my God.
No, not for me. I'm totally sport dependent on whether I'm patriotic or not. It's totally sport dependent, right? Like if it's basketball, no, you would say y'all better go win because you ain't about to embarrass all us over here and go lose out and losing in the Olympics. And this, you know what I'm saying? It is our country. You know what I'm saying? I'm stuff like that. I'm not patriotic for track. You understand what I'm saying? Like I do. It's certain Americans I want to win, but Noah Lyles, I ain't care if he won or not. He don't even like the other track. The other people on our track team don't even like him.
Well, he even started something out. I'm curious because it ain't gonna happen, but I don't know if you caught it. The cheetah said he can beat him.
Listen, don't nobody in sports like this dude, man. They don't like him. I don't even think he said anything about football, and Tyreek don't got that good to say about that man.
Yeah, Tyreek was like, "Yeah, I can beat him." I'm like, "Bruh, let's not get carried away. He's still an Olympic runner."
He got football speed.
And I think when they clocked his speed, when they broke it down, I think Lyles' 40 time is something like 4.2. Tyreek is fast, but he ain't that fast.
I think they ran their 60 because Tyreek used to run a 60. So they did Tyreek 60 was 6.7 and Noah Lyles 60 was 6.4. And that's a big
that's a big gap.
3/10 of a second is a big gap. And it's only gonna get bigger on the next 40 meters.
Yeah. So I'm like, I get it, Tyreek. You know, I get it. You think you can cook them, and you'd come. You know, it'd be interesting. But
for 30 meters.
Yeah, pretty much.
But like you said, Tyreek out there running around football. What, 10 pounds with the football gear? So a little different.
Oh no, he's fast. He do have
he's track that. He's track that, but he's not international track star fast. He's not. You mean you got Noah Lyles won the 100 in the Olympics. I mean, so he's the fastest dude out there right now.
If he trains, I think if Tyreek trained specifically for it, he could. But
I think he could make it a good race. I think he make it a good race if he trained specifically for it.
And he was a little young because he is old. So yeah.
I mean, hey, I don't know.
Or something like that.
Tyreek is early or mid 30s?
Early 30s, yeah. I think he's early 30s or
29. Darryl Green ended up faster at the end of his career than the beginning of it, so it can't happen. For those who know who Daryl Green is.
I thought Daryl Green stayed the same. He was the same the entire time. Like Daryl Green came in running a 4-2, he left running a 4-2.
Which is wild.
Like,
Totally
but
wild.
Deion Sanders, when he went at 37, when he went to play for Baltimore, he ran a 4.37 because they timed him in the 40 at 37 years old.
I believe it. Like I said, him in between Daryl Green and Deion in their primes. Whew.
That's that's
speed that I couldn't imagine. Tyreek up there with him, but yeah.
Yeah.
Daryl Green probably got real track speed, like real track speed.
Yeah.
Legit, for sure. But this is just, and like I said, shout out to Stacey Patton. Love the article. And I get it completely from a woman's standpoint. This probably hits a little different because women have to deal with, but sisters have to deal with white women sticking themselves in spaces that they don't necessarily belong in on a grander scale than we do. So I get the vitriol on the article. Can't deny that. But grand opening, grand closing, we ain't gonna see it again. So that's that. But this was it's a mockery and it's an insult. It was just weird it's just weird to watch. Like you watch it like are you serious? Like, is she okay?
Now I got a homeboy, he keeps up with breakdancing when it's like he was excited about breakdancing being in the Olympics because he keeps up with it as one of the pillars. Like you know what I'm saying? He still dances. He's still so in hip hop discussion group. So he that didn't ruin it for him. You know what I'm saying? It didn't ruin it for him because he still got to see something he loved on the world stage. You know, and so I mean, just think about you watching a basketball game and you like, how this dude get on the team? I mean, like, it don't ruin the experience of the basketball game for you because one person don't belong out there. You know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes people jump into hyperbole so fast and so much. Like, nah, just let us get these jokes off. Because one, I mean, it was funny, but it was also like, I feel like she wasn't qualified. And that's what people are getting at, is because she wasn't qualified.
Yeah, she's not qualified. And I'm like,
people that should have gone.
It's one thing to suck. I think what it is this. It's one thing to suck. It's one thing to just not be good at it. It's another thing entirely to make a mockery of it. So on one end, there's, hey, you're just really not good at this. The other end is you out here being hip hop Dalmatians. For those who ain't seen, for those who didn't see watch Brown Sugar, like it's one thing to just, okay, you don't rap well, which is 90% of the South. Oh, sorry.
Okay, no, we gonna stop this disrespect because they got some real spitters now. I don't want to hear
because Big Extra Plug, that dude is wrong.
The South might overtake New York. I'm sorry. We are going there. We going there.
What's his name? Mexican OT or OT Mexican, whatever that is. Wrong. You got
JID.
JID.
Oh my God, he out rapped M on his album. I'm sorry.
Okay. So just a couple of very easy questions for all involved here. Last time I checked, Nas still alive, Jay is still alive, Rakim just dropped another album. I can keep going, but I think you get the point.
That's like holding on to Michael Jordan. That's like holding on to like LeBron, Steph, and KD. This was their last ride. You know what I'm saying? Like they releasing albums when, like, you know what I'm saying? Like Nas did a nice little 6-album run, but then he done disappeared again. You know what I'm saying?
Rakim just dropped. What are we doing? Rakim
just dropped.
Rakim just dropped, and LL is coming.
Dude,
what are we doing?
Self is
when Jay-Z dropped the album. Jay-Z ain't dropped the album since he cheated on his wife.
He retired.
He dropped a classic and bounced.
I mean, at his age, I hope so.
7 years ago, bro. That was 7 years ago. You name it, people that's
He's
not
50
albums.
You should be
it's
50
okay.
years rapping. Listen,
and it's okay to still like Nas and Jay-Z, and it's still okay to like them, and still give credit to the new dudes too, man. They out here.
No, he doesn't.
We just told you, man. We just gave you the names, man.
There's way more. He knows the other. You know Rhapsody. More. You know Cole. You know.
I just sent you the Rhapsody track with Remy.
Yeah, I've been up on that. That's from I've been up on that.
So you have so many people that are your favorites right now, and they are all from the South. You have more favorite rappers from the South now than you do New York. That is true.
Listen, I ain't gonna front, man. That dude, it's some dudes from down here that can
He just
spit.
hate, man. No, he just hate. He
So you don't like
himself nice. He just hate.
It ain't
Bruh.
just Houston. Listen, Houston put their bones on everybody that came out of Houston could spit.
Chameleonaire, we're doing this. We're really gonna do this. Chameleonaire,
He's a smart businessman, so he gets respect.
He could rap though. He just wasn't better than Paul Wall.
That's not a hard bar, but yeah.
But what happens is when you get on a track with when you make a group with somebody who's consistently better than you and they overshine you, you don't realize how good the other person is sometimes. Because like you don't realize how good Havoc was because Prodigy was better than him.
I'm just quiet because the South is cool. They got some groovy little rappers. Salute. Rhapsody's been on heavy rotation.
Let it go,
little brother. They from North Carolina.
Agree. Like there's like 7 people from below the Mason-Dixon line that we can be like, yo, that's official.
Nah, it's more than that, but yeah. It's way more. I just discovered some new ones. That's why I said it's way more.
I don't even want to derail this conversation because
let's get back on track. This is a whole topic for us. It could be a whole show.
Our topic right here, a whole show. Yeah. We have to get notes and everything.
The South versus New York. That's the next show.
It don't gotta be versus though. You can like them both. Like I love me some Griselda, and then I still listen to me some cats from down here.
If you have not heard "Summertime Butch," oh my god!
Oh man,
his biggest downfall is his producer.
No, not on this one. That "Summertime Butch." Oh my!
Oh yeah, she got.
Oh, you don't like Derringer? You don't like Derringer?
What? Nah. Whatever the albums I listened to before, them beats was sorry.
You ain't like the joint with the one he did with Hit Boy?
I don't know if I heard that one.
He did the whole album. What you talking about? It's the one he. Oh shoot! Now. Man, now I can't remember the name of it. It's the one with Are you gonna cry in this Toyota or this Maybach? That whole album. Oh shoot! I can't believe I can't remember the name of it now.
Yeah, I don't think I listened. I just remember one I did, or one or two of them I did. And he sent him, and I told him, I said, "What are these beats?" He's rapping, but the beats.
No, Hit Boy did the whole album. He did the whole album with Hit Boy. It was but that was back in like 2020. Yeah, back at the end of 2020. Can't remember the name of the album now. I feel crazy because the cats they put out so much work. I think you just don't like Derringer. You don't like the Derringer.
That might be what it is. Because Hit Boy I know can make some good beats.
You know, Hit Boy, that whole album it's a classic. I might have to.
Good. Okay. Stay with Hit Boy Butch because
but Summertime Butch joint just came out not too long ago. It is a refined Benny. And yeah, there's that. So we're gonna move along here because the
group and that's it. Go ahead.
The Southern rap loyalist. I don't.
Not loyalist, man. I'm just real, man.
Hip hop.
Real. I'm just not gonna hate, man. If somebody nice, man.
Nice
is nice. And you as a lyricist should just be able to admit that, man. If it's nice, they nice, man.
They are nice.
Agreed.
You gonna snap your fingers for some whack poets?
No. I clap because I know what it takes to get up on that stage and spit a poem, whether it be nice or ass. I know what it takes to get up on stage.
It's your artwork. That's messed up. I mean, it's not like rap where you could tell, like, but it's poetry. Poetry. Your truth.
I've heard some.
How is
I've heard some poetry that needs to go back to the lab. Put it that way.
You can have Dr. Seuss poets; it will still hit.
Okay, moving on. I will send you some stuff that's gonna make you scratch your head. Like, yeah, moving on. This is bad because we actually covered this on the show when it initially happened. But this is bad. Brendan Depa or Depa, I'm not sure quite how it's pronounced, but Brendan Depa, he is 6'6", 270. Big kid. 6'6", 270. But if I'm not mistaken, he is also only 17 years old. So what happened was, and this is very important to point out, he is severely autistic.
Another problem.
So long and short, rewind time a little bit. I think it was last year. a teacher took his handheld game, and Brendan didn't appreciate that, not one little bit.
It's not the time to use that reference, man.
Oh, it's,
Ah,
it's a Joker reference, but it's
Dark
not
Knight quote incoming.
not one.
Oh, go ahead.
You.
I'm sorry.
But the result of teacher taking the handheld game away is Brendan beat the hell out of him. Like beat the hell out of him.
That,
And
yeah, I have a personal, it's visceral to me because my granddaughter is autistic, right?
Right.
And so I've seen the outburst. She's 8 now, you know what I'm saying? She's nonverbal. Ross, she's
Mhm.
nonverbal, but she doesn't harm others, but she'll harm herself. She'll scratch herself, she'll hit herself in the head. And
Right.
sometimes so sometimes you think, she can be uncontrollable. And I would be so mad if some parent did something that triggered her and then up in court acting like you didn't know the deal. The mother is like, she's pissed because she says she doesn't feel like the school followed the behavior plan that they have for them. With autistic kids, you can't just take stuff from them.
No.
You can't. Like, that's not how it works. Even if they're high functioning autistic, you can't just take stuff from people. Mm-hmm. Any of those kind of changes, like my granddaughter with her tablet, right? Her tablet is her comfort place. So maybe he kept taking it out because it's his comfort place. And that's another thing I always say about school. School just designed to make people follow rules. They're not designed for creative thinking. They're not designed for any of that stuff because all they wanted to make him do was follow the rules and put the thing away. And then they said he's had violent outbursts before. And like the one thing that just kept making me so mad about, he showed no remorse. Like, that's not a thing with autistic people. Like, it's not a thing to show remorse like that. He can know it was wrong and maybe know, like, okay, that wasn't the right reaction. But it doesn't show remorse because it's like, it's not a thing that registers like that. Like a lot of autistic kids don't register emotions like that. Like, it's just, it just made me so angry that they get this kid 5 years in prison.
And he was facing
supervised release.
And I'm like, and it goes back to my overall arcing thing. My problem with this country is it is punishment based. It is not preventative based. And it's like, what is this young man going to get out of this? What is he, you call them correctional facilities? This is the correction? This is the correction. So he was facing 30 years. You gave him 5 after his brother said, hey.
He took a plea. That's the only reason I gave him 5, because he took a plea.
True. That is true.
So you basically had that man cop to a plea. And the mother was like, she hit the nail on the head. She said that even 5 years is too much. She said the boy's going to become a victim. And she feels like he's being punished for 3 things: for being big, for being black, and for being neurodivergent.
And I'm like, this is just, what is he gonna do? And then the mother, pleaded for him to just let house arrest then. We can do house arrest.
They could have done anything. They could have done house arrest. They could have done supervised probation. They could have done anything for him. And part of the supervised probation is they could have put some things in there that he has to go see the behavioral health counselors. He has to go see some kind of have some kind of psychotherapy. Work with somebody whose specialty is autism. Prison's not going to help him.
No, it's not. It's not. And I'm just.
And if he reacts, because it seems like he has violent reactions, what's going to happen if he's in prison and he has a violent reaction with somebody? They could kill that boy.
Right. And make no mistake, he's 6'6", 270, but he's not your average 6'6", 270 person, obviously. And I'm just like, the audacity, the absolute audacity of, I'm going to take this thing away from you because you're not listening.
You know where
you're a teacher. You're not a warden. You're not a cop.
If anything, I would have been like, okay, so let's separate you from the class. What do we need? Okay, so instead of just trying to take this, because that disrupted the class way more than him at the thing. So let's just separate him from the class. Let's take him somewhere where he can just be on this thing for now, and then we'll figure. I'll call his parents. We'll figure something out, right? We'll figure it out.
Wow.
But they don't
Like,
care. But look where
like
they was at. You know what they was at, right? What state they was in?
I was just looking at that too.
It's Florida.
Yeah.
He's in
Yeah.
Florida. So you already knew what the deal was going to be for him, how they was going to treat him.
Mm-hmm.
That story just makes me so mad. Like, it makes me so
Now, I get it. She suffered 5 broken ribs, a herniated disc, a concussion, loss of hearing. She was kicked and punched 15 times. Kicked and punched 15 times by somebody 6'6", 270. Yeah, that's going to do some damage. That's going to do some damage.
Okay, he's 6'6", 270, but just, he has his body size. He can hurt somebody, like, but I look at my granddaughter, right? She's maybe 40 pounds. And how hard it is to control her when she's having a meltdown. You know what I'm saying? She throws herself all over the place. You might get a headbutt in the face. You gotta, and so like so I can imagine he's big in a body that his mind does not work with. He doesn't control his punches or his kicks. So he's gonna hit and kick and do all of this stuff with every bit of strength and fiber of his being. He's not violent because he's prone to criminality. He's violent because he's neurodivergent, and that needs to be treated.
I think what the clincher was, if I had to guess, he spit on her and then followed her out. When she left the classroom, he followed her outside the classroom, and that's probably the point where it's like, okay, where this criminal justice system, and I use the term loosely, will probably try to say, okay, you knew what you were doing. Because you followed her out the classroom, you knew what you're doing, and I'm like, no.
And that's what I'm saying. That's where all of the assumptions go wrong, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, punishment is not the issue here. The issue needs to be fixed on what caused it, right? What caused it. And so when how did she take the video game? Did she say something to him? Did she belittle him? How did it happen? Because like some of those things can. Some of those, it can be triggering. It's not like she said, give me that, and he gave it to her because obviously he didn't want to give it to her. So she took it. I'm sure she took it.
Absolutely. And it's just, this is sad all the way around, but maybe it's just me and my upbringing. But okay, let's do some real quick math. I am 5'8" 3/4 and 228 pounds. I'm gonna have a little bit of pause when dealing with somebody 6'6", 270.
I'm 6'1", 258, and I'd have been like, you want to play with that? Cool.
You know what? We're gonna find another way.
I mean, first of all, even if I feel like maybe I could probably handle him, right? Because I had some training, and I had some training in some combat arts. But why? Why? It's a video game. The most I would have done was like, hey, Brendan, okay, this is what we're gonna do, okay? Now, since we can't play this in here, Brendan, let's go. Come on with me. I'm gonna take you somewhere. I will take him to an office and let him sit there and play it. And then I'll be like, I'm gonna call your mom. Is that okay? Okay. So you just sit here, you play your game, I'm gonna call your mom. And then you call somebody that can talk to him and deal with them, because once the violent outburst starts, you can't just stop it, right? It takes a person that they trust, a person that, that knows them and how they operate. And so that's what I'd have called his mother, like, hey, I think your son is becoming overstimulated. He won't stop taking the game out. And I feel like if we take the game from him, it may escalate.
How does this help? She's like, I just at the end of the day,
it only helps the white folks at that school, because all they see is a big black bully.
Like, what kind of green mound shit is this, yo?
That's what they see. It's a hard case because like I know that sometimes that autistic kids can be prone to violence. And so they were making it seem like no, autistic kids are prone to violence. No, not all, of course not all, but some can be, you know, due to the judgment, right? Because the judgment is impaired with autism, even in high functioning autistic kids.
Mm.
You know, and so I'm not happy. I wasn't. It just, for me though, because I have a personal, you know, it hits me personally, and I feel like he was railroaded. He was made a criminal from the start, instead of it being like, listen, everybody's victims here today.
Yeah. And it goes back.
We don't have anybody that's not a victim in this thing, so we get it, man. I know you're a victim. You were beaten, you know, and so we know you're a victim. We know that you probably, his behavioral plan probably hasn't been followed at that school for years. They probably ain't never followed it. And then they probably already labeled him violent, because that's the things they brought up, is that he had an altercation on the bus that someone at the bus driver couldn't break up. Of course you couldn't break it up. He's huge. You know, like, you know, and so that's when you have to like say, okay, well, we can't put your son on the bus. We do have to separate him, because he can have violent outbursts. Because me and my wife talk about that too with my granddaughter. Like, is she in class with a kid that may be violent? If so, that kid needs to be separated. It's that simple. It needs to be separated.
It's just like you said, it is a loss all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
This goes back to my overarching issue where we are punitive, not corrective. This is not corrective at all.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what this young man is going to be like in 5 years when he gets out? Like, I don't know what his level of functioning is now, but I don't
immediately.
I don't see where this is going to make him a better citizen, so to speak.
Prison doesn't make anybody better, so it makes them better criminals.
But ding, 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 ding.
But what I don't understand too is, right, they, like I was just saying, they Baker acted him immediately, which means that as soon as he went to prison, they immediately sent him to the mental health facility and separated him from the prisoners. So then why we couldn't just put him into a mental health facility?
Thank you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he didn't need prison. Even if you wanted to separate him from society, put him in a mental health facility.
Oh yeah, what I've been fucking saying. I think prisons only be for like real serious shit. Other than that, you don't pay a child support. No, you don't belong in there.
Yeah, you don't belong in prison. And I just think the rules are ridiculous about child support anyway. So I can't pay my child support. So you're going to take my driver's license. So I can't get to work to make to pay child. But I don't want to get. Let's not get. I don't want to get off on that tangent. I don't want to get off on that tangent.
All right, because I mean, at least that one can make a little bit of sense. Like, hey, if you've been going back and forth to work and not paying child support, you had a job, you ain't been paying no way. But yeah, the entire child support thing is goofy. That is beyond goofy.
It is. But I mean, that's just one example. There's, like I said, I can name like all misdemeanors, all that shit you should not go to prison for that. It's real serious. Like for me, murder, like serial killing, of course, serial sexual predators. Yeah, like those two, get your ass in there. Everybody else, somewhere else. Mental
Do you know we're the only country? I think we're not the only country, but we're the only developed nation that sends people to prison for life, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I've been in Europe. This lady murdered her husband in Germany, and for them, I think the max sentence is like 7 years, because they are strict on rehabilitation. Like, it is an entire rehabilitative process. They're in dorms, like, with, like, if you look at it, it looks like a college campus.
I thought that was Norway. Germany does that too?
It's a bunch of countries in Europe. Germany's like that too. Like, it's not a hard labor prison system like that.
It's not
basically they're not trying to make money off their prisoners.
Yeah, I'm about to say, this is we all know.
It's not about
rehabilitating no one here. This is all business.
Well, yet again, I've said this numerous times on this show. There's so many answers beyond these borders. China has figured out how to cure diabetes. Oops, oh well, gonna be a while after that gets here. Other police forces don't carry guns. I don't believe London, which is ironic. You know what I'm talking about. I don't believe London police officers carry guns. So many other police forces don't carry guns. So
South Korea doesn't
Because
do that.
guns are banned there, so they ain't really worried about getting clapped. Here, everyone has guns.
Yeah.
We have more guns per capita, like per person, than any country in the world.
Need to be armed here.
So yeah, I don't think trust me, I don't like the motherfuckers, but they need something because
You need to be
going
armed.
into you fighting a gunfight with a knife or a club, you gonna lose that battle. So yeah, it's a little different.
But now you're talking about the bobbies, right? In London, those are just the beat cops, but they do have police officers that carry weapons over there. They do have that carry guns. They do have them. Like even when I was in Korea, but those would be like what they consider the special forces, SWAT, and any kind of special team they would call in. So if anything involved a gun, then they're not going to send them regular cops with clubs. They gonna go get the gun guy.
They gonna go get it.
They gonna go get the gun guys, you know. But that's how they have a lot less police civilian shootings and interactions as well.
They got mass stabbings though.
Plus they don't be pulling folks over. Like in all of these countries, like in Europe, and when I was in Germany, when I was in Korea, you don't get pulled over for speeding. So they don't initiate stops with people. So the only time you come into contact with the police is if they've been called, or if you're involved in it have been called and you're involved in an incident.
You pretty much you ask for it.
No quotas, no business. So why we need to do all this?
It's just again, there are so many, and this is where and not to beat the kick the dead pony. This is where one of my issues with Olympics came in. Like, no, I'm not going to feed into the fallacy of American superiority. I'm just not doing it. Like, I get it in certain sports. If you're a gymnast, well, to be the best, you gotta go to the Olympics. The world's greatest ice skater, you gotta go to the Olympics. But hoops or boxing,
no, but see, like I'm not patriotic to the point where like just like in gymnastics, right? I'm rooting for Simone Biles, right? But when old girl from Brazil won, hey, she still won us. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm like. Issa Rae, I'm rooting for everybody black. When Julia Alfred won that 100 meters, yay for her. I was rooting for Sha'Carri, but hey, it's yay for her. You know what I'm saying? Like that thing about me, my patriotism is not like born out of American superiority. I just root for the people I'm familiar with, from the areas I'm familiar with.
Same here.
You know what I'm saying? That's what ends up happening for me. And I'm familiar with the American athletes.
Yeah, I mean, shit, Tatum went over there and ain't getting no playing time no way, but that's we'll get to that.
Is not a good international player yet right now. He is a great NBA ISO player. That does not work in international ball. It don't work in international ball. ISO ball don't work in international ball.
I'm just don't mind me. I'm just tracing his lineage because he went to do.
I mean, to be fair, his play style fits international. He just couldn't hit a fucking shot to save his life. Like Tatum,
so he's too slow, right? So the ball would get into him, and it was the same problem Embiid would have early in the Olympics too.
Well,
right?
he's the worst.
The ball hits those two guys' hands, and the movement, everything stops. And you can't have that in international ball because the defense keys on stoppages. The ball needs to be free flowing. You notice when Steph got off, right? That ball was moving. It was passing, cutting, drawing defenders and kicking back out. Like they weren't playing one-on-one. Steph went one-on-two on that one play, but that's just because he was feeling it by then. But it was all his threes was all off of catch and shoots.
That's his game. He just, like I said, Boston.
Well, no, he'll shoot off the dribble in the NBA.
I mean, no, he will. I'm just saying the shot creation. He either drives or he's going to shoot that steps, either catch and shoot, drive, or do that side step three shit. That can work in the international game if it's, if he's hitting. He ain't hit a three the entire time. He was shooting more.
Even the last World Championships he went to, he stunk.
Yeah,
and he said that he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
He can't.
But you had, but I don't know if it was the basketball because I think you had to get used to that basketball because the lines are in different places on that ball. So you might have to get used to gripping it. But once he did, it was lights out. It was curtains.
Goat
I
shit.
mean,
Goat point
you
guard.
sit an NBA champion and a Duke alum on the bench. Okay, Steve Kerr.
Yeah,
But
he ain't do
as,
nothing with that chip.
as George Teague said, and George Teague has become one of the funniest people to tell an NBA story.
Jeff
Jeff
Teague.
Teague, I'm sorry, Jeff Teague. He's one of the funniest.
Hello, George.
Jeff Teague is one of the funniest dudes ever telling NBA stories. Like he called it. The league is going to pay for this next year. You didn't tell Jaylen Brown he wasn't good enough to go. Tatum went and you didn't play him. The league is going to pay for this next year.
Yeah.
The league is going to pay for this next year.
There's plenty of good players that go over on the Olympics and don't play, man. Like
Tyrese ain't play at all.
a few. Listen, no, in the last Olympics, Devin Booker didn't get that much burn. He didn't get that much burn, and he can't. Guess what he did? He came back and he got a ton of burn this time. You learn that. So this was what Jason Tatum needed, right? He needed to see what that international ball was like when that Stacey, see how he just could tailor the game.
Hold up, he played last Olympics. He played all right.
Olympics. He was in the World Championship when we finished 8th. He didn't. He wasn't in the Olympics.
Not the Olympics. Not the Olympics.
The World Championship.
The World. Yeah. We
still
want to go with it.
Damian Lillard struggles in international competition because he's got ISO game and he plays no defense.
That's true.
Here's the thing. Neither of those two guys won an NBA title.
What does that mean? That means you have a great team. He didn't play great as an individual.
Tatum is the centerpiece of the NBA champions, and I'm not getting no burn. Are you serious?
He played like doodoo, and his team still won.
He did not play well. You act like he was out burning it up, and Steve Kerr was like, no, you making too many points. Come sit down. He was like, hey, you stinking it up out here, and you're not playing defense. Come sit down.
Pretty much.
Now, if your shot not gonna fall, at least play defense. He was a stab out there.
Yeah. Probably could have used him in Serbia, I ain't gonna lie, just for the size. But
that's what I said. Now, I thought in the first half we could have used him against Serbia because he's 6'10".
Anthony Edwards wasn't doing a damn thing.
No, Anthony Edwards had a bad.
He should have got benched, but he didn't.
But he did though. Steve Kerr did. He didn't play him down the stretch.
Oh yeah, he played Bam.
He played Bam. Listen, Bam is one of our best international big men.
M and AD, yeah.
But what's the name told? Michael Beasley told us about Bam. He said Bam can actually can shoot the three and handle the rock, but they don't. He said Miami don't let him. He said Bam was the only one to bust his tail in one-on-one when he's down in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Bam like that.
He should be a 4. He's not a 5, but he don't. But that's what they do. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
and I'm gonna give it to you. Your boy. He played his butt off in the Olympics.
Who?
LeBron, your father's boy.
Oh yeah,
your daddy boy, your daddy's boy.
I mean, he did get put on a poster, unfortunately. But
yes, we can never forget that. Oh my God,
that happens. Listen, I was gonna wear my Anthony Edwards poster shirt too because I got a shirt of him posterizing John. What's his name?
John Collins.
Yeah. Yep, I got that slam joint with him posterizing John Collins, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna wear my nerd shirt today.
That's nasty. Oh,
yeah.
But Bron is still the GOAT. But anywho,
got done by French Ben Wallace, man. That's tough.
I'm gonna give it to him like he MVP. People trying to say Steph, but I'm like, no, Steph had the last two games. He was struggling in the early games.
He was. But
we was better with him on the bench.
He hit 17 threes in 2 games, though.
That's what Brown was consistent the entire time. Like even in the exhibition games against South Sudan, we needed a bucket to win. He took it to the rack and got us a bucket.
Oh yeah, LeBron deserved it. I'm not mad at him for getting it. He deserved it.
And that's what's crazy is that Ross, you were LeBron sycophant and you spending your time talking about Jason Tatum.
That's the next one for him. Once LeBron's gone, he's gonna go.
LeBron had a legacy moment out here, and we talk about Jason. There you go.
Because how dare you sit a Duke alums in such manners?
How dare you play like cheeks of assness? Like why?
Grant Hill is the de facto general manager of the team, and where he go, Duke. He probably was over there with Steve Kerr, like, hey man, this dude needs to sit down, man. He embarrassing Duke out here.
You playing like Dookie. Come on.
Dookie, dude.
Come on, Dookie. Sit your ass over here.
But listen, man, Jason Tatum, he's going back. Like, I know what Jeff Teague said, but he would be a fool to not go back because he would look like a quitter.
Bruh.
But they disrespect. I mean, to be fair, now if I
It
was
wasn't
him,
really disrespectful though,
I'd be
because
like, yo, really, I could, like DNP. I get maybe just playing me a little bit if I'm struggling, but DNP, like I don't deserve to be out at all,
but
especially
Steve
against
Kerr, listen,
Serbia.
and that's Steve Kerr. I don't think Steve Kerr figured out his best lineup
He did.
until the end of that Serbia game.
When Golden State goes to Boston next year, expect a 30-point ass whooping. That's all I'm
Golden
saying.
State stinks.
I mean, they trash. I expect a 50-point ass whooping at this point.
You better beat them.
Yeah,
No, it's going to be a message sent. It's going to be a message
What's the
sent.
message?
we beat you
What's
in the
message
finals.
sent?
Right. We gonna
Y'all
do?
passed y'all prime? Because that's
Yeah.
the message.
I had no help.
Yeah, it's Steph and the four others. It's
Yeah.
Steph and the Pips.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Steph Curry and the Pips.
And Debo.
Okay. That is, I don't remember the roster. They do got some promising new guard there, but
You talking about, no.
You talking about Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga?
yeah, they got to be a community.
They stink.
Oh gosh. Okay. I mean, it's not Clay, but
It's
Clay
like
ain't
what
Clay.
the problem with them is they will show flashes, and so they fool everybody. And then if you see in the game where they had a flash, you're like, oh, they got people. But if you watch them consistently, you're like, man, these dudes are so inconsistent. Moses Moody is just bad. But you know, commit those flashes every now and then that he can be good.
But Steve Kerr is fucking them up because he plays them inconsistently. So you can't even get a rhythm. So I can't even blame them. We don't even know what they look like because he keeps fucking not playing them.
Because Steve Kerr would play Embiid way too much in them earlier games when Embiid, and we needed Embiid against Serbia. We needed Embiid against France, right? That's what we took him there for Gobert and for Jokic. We didn't take him there to be trying to chase around 6'9" dudes, and he looked like he couldn't keep up.
No. That's him being Embiid. Okay, so let's see here.
But Embiid came through in the last week.
So this is a weird one. We after our impromptu basketball break, because we're back. This is a weird one, and I'm like, apparently, old Donnie boy has been flying around in Jeffrey Epstein's "I didn't really kill myself" plane.
Yeah, it's technically a former plane, but ain't that just on brand? I mean, why are we surprised by this? It's not news. Anything Donald Trump does ridiculous. Why are we surprised by this? We already knew he flew on Epstein's planes before this.
What, like you're not even hiding it no more.
When is he ever going to try no more? This dude ain't done. He don't listen. Once he found out that he could just be openly racist and we'd still make him president, he can do what he wants because he has a cult. He can do what he wants.
But he doesn't have enough to get him elected, and that's the interesting part. Like you're doing
elected until Joe Biden backed out because Biden was going to lose big.
Yeah,
I told you.
Big.
It was going to be interesting. It was going to be interesting to see how that went down.
It wasn't going to be close. It was going to be Trump by a landslide because a lot of Democrats weren't going to show up to vote. Period. They were just going to be like, yeah, it was going to be a landslide.
But there's enough hatred to bring people out just to say it's the same playbook from before. And I don't want Trump to win. Yeah, maybe I don't like this guy. Maybe he's a little older, but I damn sure don't want Trump to win.
They don't want Bill. They do not want. I said Bill.
But this is the thing, right? They want Trump to win, but they also felt like, and then that Biden wasn't going to be able to carry out the duties of the office of the president. So the Democrats were working behind the scenes to remove him. So they stopped funding him. After that first debate, they stopped funding him, right? And they were pressuring him behind the scenes to go ahead and abdicate so that Kamala could run. Because this was what we were sold 4 years ago with that Biden was a one-term president. We were sold that he wasn't going to run for a second term. But it's hard when you get that power to get that power up.
I mean, you know what? Nothing I say next about him is going to be kind, so I'm going to stop. I'm just like,
why are we trying to be nice to him?
Because I don't want to listen. I don't. The question the questions were getting louder about whether or not he'd actually survive another term, and I don't mean the slings and arrows.
Biden or Trump?
Biden. I mean, Same
No,
question
they're
with
both
Trump,
too
right?
old, right? They are
Mhm.
both a case study of we need age limits and term limits for all of these offices, to include the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court needed bad because Clarence Thomas needed to be up out paint.
But I'm just like, I can't think of too many grandfathers that I'd be like, oh yeah, you can run the country. And that's not me being ageist. That's just me being real. Like, I don't know
We
too many
don't
80-year-olds that I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Go
Morgan
for
Freeman. Yes.
it.
no,
Touche.
no,
Touche.
Morgan Freeman, nope. Morgan Freeman, he how do we stop racism? We stop talking about it, Morgan Freeman.
Oh yeah, you right. I forgot
Nah,
about that.
B,
Yeah,
nah,
yeah.
B.
Nah, you right.
Morgan Freeman been on the coon train, bro.
Yeah, you
The
right. I
trial-
forgot all about that. Yeah, you
Bobby
right.
Bowden.
You right.
Well, Bobby, yeah, because Bobby Bowden was good into his 80s and then he just fell off a cliff.
Right, Bobby Bowden. I know some folks in our state
You
would
talking
love to
about
say
coaches? Coaches, I don't want them to be the president.
I'm just saying, what 80-year-old do I trust running this thing?
No,
If I had to pick
but then think about this, right? The reason I don't want him to be president, Bobby Bowden fell prey to this too. Bobby Bowden was outdated. His thinking was still outdated, even in regards to football. He did not adapt to the game. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't an adapter like that. So this is the problem I have with 80-something-year-old people running for public office. Their interests don't align with what most of the country's interests align with, to include Joe Biden. He don't read the tea leaves because he promised us all these lies about police reform. As soon as he got there, he's like, nope, I ain't reforming no police. We need our police. We love our police.
I know an unpopular pick, Jerry Jones.
What?
Say what you will about Jerry.
What?
He's made the Cowboys a damn near global brand.
What the hell they got
That
to do?
don't mean he needs
He
to be
racist as
proud.
fuck.
You know, Jerry Jones of if a Dallas Cowboys player kneel, I'm cutting him the next day. Jerry Jones.
What are we talking? Okay, now you just
Jerry Jones, who was at the Arkansas protest against school integration, who was in the picture of them screaming, little black girl going into the class. Jerry Jones.
Wow. Yeah, like that
So
part I remember. This shit. I remember.
So it was Jerry Jones or Biden. Who you voting for?
Neither.
Bro,
like this ain't a one or two option.
I'm voting for
there isn't a two. I'm not voting.
If them two running, I'm voting for Vermin Supreme. Look him up if you don't know who he is. I bet he's running Legolas every year.
There we go. Aragon.
That's all I got. That's all I got. I'm trying to think, like, what 80-year-old.
But that's the issue. This is why we need something better than a two-party system, right? Because they were trotting out Biden and Trump. They were trotting that back out, right? Trump has been in the past 3 elections. We need something better than the two-party system because maybe they can give us some better candidates if we do that.
Yeah, but ain't gonna happen.
So the People's Party had got a little bit of push, but then they started to get invaded by people that was just like, nah, they weren't progressive. Like, we need a progressive party. We need something that's going to push this country forward.
You need the squad. You need AOC in the team, but they've already lost a couple members.
There we go. They're still Democrats.
They lost members because they spoke out against Israel, and you know what that was going to do. So what Israel did was, what the
folks
Jewish people did was they didn't back Republicans. They just ran other Democrats against them.
Yeah.
And they weren't being anti-Semitic. They were just speaking out against what Israel's doing in Gaza, which is, listen, that country was created by NATO, by Western powers in the 1940s. I can't remember if it's 46 or 49, but that was created by NATO, right? Or the UN. And we just gave them some land that people lived on and colonized them. And people shouldn't be upset about that.
Oh, they was mad.
You know why we don't care, right? You know why the U.S. don't care, right? Because that's what we did. That's what they did.
Columbus this shit, right?
That's what they did here, because they were people here, and they just came in and took the country from them, pushed them on the.
We discovered.
I mean, you're not gonna get mad at your boss. Like I said, Israel is our boss. Even though we're big brother, they are still our boss. We work for them. So yeah.
Wow.
Why would you? So like, yeah, of course they're gonna ride with them. You signed up my checks, so yeah. Hey,
Uh,
it's what it
but
is.
according and circling back on what I'm reading here, he was old Trumpy boy, old Donnie boy was on his way to a campaign event in Bozeman, Montana, unexpectedly landed in Billings because of mechanical issues, and next day switched to another bigger plane with a serial number that matches a plane once owned by Epstein. And according to them, they had no idea. I just uh, the part about this you have
Wait,
to
wait. Let
love.
me take the oath. Remember this?
Right, right.
We don't believe you on that. We don't believe you.
Believe me,
I thought
you
that
need more
Murphy.
people.
I thought Trump was on one of the manifests
Oh,
as flying on one of his planes before.
Well, you know, since
I know Bill Clinton. I know Bill Clinton was.
mm.
since Jeffrey offed himself, well, I guess we'll never really know. Wink, wink. And that's one of the greatest mysteries of all. Like after JFK, how do you manage to off yourself while you're on suicide watch? How does that happen?
And so, no, listen. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you how that happens. It does happen, and it happens more than you think, right? Them prison guards ain't shit. They not really watching. They lie about. I was in the military, right? And so we would have something called CQ, which is charge of quarter depth 24-hour duty. And so every 2 hours, you were supposed to get up, do your rounds, check all of these things, and sign these forms to say that you checked them, right? Sometimes you don't go every 2 hours. You go every 4 hours, and then you fill in the block that you missed the last 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
They be doing that.
Yeah.
And they'll say that they went and checked, and they didn't go check. And he knew that they weren't checking because they were probably doing this every night because it was systemic. They were, they were just. So I don't. You don't need a conspiracy theory for that. I believe he did off himself because he did not want to face not just the charges but the people, because the people were too powerful for him. So he probably did off himself.
If I'm sitting here on this book with these names, do you understand I'm not doing a day? All I got to do is snitch.
A book don't mean nothing if they don't let you get to it.
That's you both could be right. They killed him, but they pretty much said you got two options. We do it or you do it yourself. Which one you want to do? That's pretty much it. Like I said, they made sure that he was not walking in that courtroom. It was never coming to life.
I'm not doing a day. Ain't no way. Ain't the thought of offing myself ain't even crossing my mind.
Bro, you're
I got
getting killed anyway.
The thought of touching children ain't crossing your mind either, right?
What'd you say?
The thought of touching children ain't crossing your mind either, right? Epstein was on some more other stuff.
But blackmail. He was blackmailing all the other elites. So yes, you blackmail all the other elites. So you got a whole list of them that can fuck up everything. You have way too much power. You gotta go.
This is Diddy before Diddy. Like Diddy
got a
way
worse.
Oh no, this way
way worse. This goes deep. I mean, Diddy shit goes deep, but this
thing
I'm about to say, bro, he got raided by the feds and is still walking around free. That's a first.
Because everything for Diddy was with adults.
Yeah.
It might have been of the same. I mean, the rumors are it was of the same gender, but they were all adults.
No, that's where the sex trafficking piece comes in. Maybe they weren't all adults.
But I didn't hear the sex trafficking piece. I didn't hear that they were children. I thought it was just because you could get hit for sex trafficking adults if you pay state money. That's what they did. That's how they get pimps. The FBI that's how the FBI gets involved, taking them across state lines.
Yeah, but with old Jeffy boy here, no, I'm not doing a day. I got too much evidence, too many big names. I'm not doing a day.
The problem with him was he got caught up in the public news cycle. Couldn't control it. The people that he had dirt on couldn't control it. It was like, oh, this genie's out the bottle. We can't put it back. That's what happened. You know what I'm saying with him.
They're not making it to that courtroom, dude. Nah, it don't matter. It don't matter. You got way too much information. Information is power, and you are the most powerful person on the planet. You gotta go.
And I'm still bugging, not by no means wishing anything bad on her, but I'm shocked Giselle. Yeah, I'm shocked she's still amongst us because she was pretty much the right hand on all of this.
I don't. Yeah, but
Like you saw all
she did. The only person she implicated was Theo. I mean, not Theo. That's Theo Epstein, the baseball dude. Was Jeffrey Epstein. The only thing, that's the only person she implicated was him.
Right. She ain't snitch. Epstein was ready to snitch. If I
I
remember.
guess she figured out, she'd rather live
Yeah.
and than but how you end up on an Epstein plan and like, oh my, we had no idea. Oh my gosh, how did that?
That's not
Didn't
breaking
know.
news to be.
Listen,
Didn't know.
and you know what's crazy is because it's Trump, I'm not willing to buy that there could be an explanation of, well, the federal government impounded and took his plane, so maybe they could have used it, right? But because he gets no what do you call it? No benefit of the doubt with me.
No grace. Yeah.
He gets no grace with me. So I'm not even willing to consider that he didn't know about it. You know what I'm saying? Plus he's not a federal official. He's not a federal official right now. It's different if it would have been like a government official, like, oh, the government sees these planes, so they're part of the government fleet now.
As I've always said about Trump, I don't know if he is an idiot savant or an accidental genius because you can look at it and go either way.
He's just
like,
an idiot.
You can't be this. You can't be this dumb. Or maybe, because you always seem to know exactly what to say to rile up that bunch of goofies that support him.
Because he's a grifter. You don't got it. He's a grifter. He's a con man. He knows how to play up to the crowd to con them into giving them his vote.
Businessman. There you go.
Yep.
He's a great businessman. We can't take that away from him.
But he made his business as a grifter. I mean, look what he did with the Trump University. All the money he took from them people for a school that never existed, a class they never went to, and money he never returned.
Yeah.
Grifter.
I don't know. I feel some kind of way when we toss around the word grifter because they call my man Shaun King the same thing. And I'm like, hey.
Oh, the beige rage. Beige rage.
All I've ever said about Shaun is show the receipts. If Shaun is out here taking money, because he's been real open about it, show the receipts.
Somebody they be calling him Tatum X.
They got all the jokes. They got all the jokes.
Malcolm like that, man.
No, listen, this is the thing, right? The people that I deal with that don't like him it's not that they say he a grifter, it's that they say that he is he traffics in black like I don't want to call it black misery. Whenever
black trauma, yeah,
black trauma. He traffics in black trauma. Like he inserts himself into black trauma. He don't even be called to these places. He just goes and inserts himself into it. And then they say they never see the fruits of his labor. That's the issue, right? That's the thing. And so I'm kind of torn on because I used to get a lot of good information from Shaun King, but he can be self-serving.
The threats to his family and everything else, it ain't like he can run to the black community for help. There's literally no reason for him to do what he does.
Listen, no, it ain't cool to have threats against your family, right? But he has alienated a lot of people, and I'm not about to stand. Listen, he ain't about to be the hill I die.
Agreed.
He died.
He got it. Like that's him. He good to do that stuff. Because D-Ray McKesson too. He be he got a bad rap up in Chicago. Yeah, so I don't listen. When it comes to that activism, a lot of them dudes be in it and they be making money, and you shouldn't make money off of it.
No, not at all.
There's a bar. I forgot who said it.
And Shaun King be making money off of it. Because Shaun King don't even write. He don't even write for the Washington Post no more, do he?
I don't think so. Exactly. I mean, if I had to guess, I don't think so. But I'm like, I just do the basics. Like, listen, there's accusations that Shaun.
He's making money off of his activism.
And that's the thing, is he? Because Shaun it's been screamed that, okay, Shaun, you're really black. That makes it actually even more interesting because there's literally zero reason for me to put myself and family at risk. And I'm not black. Like I'm not. I can bask in white privilege. Like
Rachel Dolezal, she did it. And she got a prominent position in the NAACP.
But again, she put it, and again, Rachel ain't as cut and dry as we all thought. Because I'm like, again,
Yeah, it is. It is.
there is literally zero reason
She's the Ray gun.
why
She's the Ray gun of
sacrifice
black.
white privilege.
She's the Ray gun of black activism, bro. She got
Now,
up there.
I did watch her documentary, and it was interesting. That was some interesting stuff. That was some interesting stuff. But if you white privilege is like a black card, how ironic. If you have one, there is no good reason to give it up. Ever. Ever. It trumps everything. No pun intended.
She never really gave it up. She just took some tanning pills, did a soul man, and moved her white privilege over to black spaces.
When you decide to,
because she trafficked in the colorism of our community. We can't act like we don't have colorism that we deal with. She trafficked in it as a light-skinned woman.
Right. However, because you gotta understand, like, if you come into contact with white supremacy, you black. And that's when it can turn deadly real quick. That's when you can get Sandra Bland real quick. So
but that's what I'm saying. You said it ain't worth it, but I told you she did it. She did it. She did what you saying that why was Shaun King doing? I'm not here to cast aspersions on his race because I really don't care, right? If you're an ally, be an ally. I don't care.
So
like that ain't the deal. But his race was never a thing that bothered me, right? It's just the trafficking in black trauma that bothers me. That's pretty. It can be pretty tough sometimes. Reading what he's writing and a lot of the things that he puts out, and a lot of times hearing that the families have not even authorized him to speak or work on their behalf.
That's problematic. Like that is problematic for sure. That is problematic for sure.
Yeah. Now I got a few more minutes. Don't we got like one more subject that I want to that we can go out on a comedic note?
Yeah, because this was funny. So I sent you the trailer. Well, not the trailer, but Alien and Alien Romulus has been going real hard on the promos. Can't wait to see it. But I'm going to be on guard for anything weird at the theater. And apparently I think that theater was in New York again, where they actually had face huggers running on the floor in the theater.
Oh yeah, no, I don't blame it.
No.
And they had a chest burster of somebody in the theater. Bruh. No. And this is why I said you couldn't pull this off in Texas because I'm emptying the whole clip. No. See, there's promo, and I'm with it, but then there's this shit. No, B.
I thought he was talking about the trailer where the aliens was molesting the people to put the chest busters into
them. That too. Like you got folks sitting there with the face huggers on their face. I'm like, oh no. See, you can pull that in Connecticut. You can pull that in New York.
No, did you see the trailer? They never showed them angles of the face huggers before. They trolling us. They trolling us, bro. True. Why they do that? Why they do them like that?
True.
For anybody that don't know, just go watch the final trailer for Alien Romulus and watch the face huggers as they implant the chest bursters into the people. It is very pornographic.
I mean, I always think they lock onto your face. They got stuff it down somewhere.
But the way they was making it look, though, they didn't have to do that for that trailer. They could have made it look a different way, but nah, they was like
Glizzy Gobbler.
That was just like, I was like, oh, that's cold blooded, man. I'd be so mad. I'd be like, well, I got to do this.
Yeah, but like, nah, special effects have stepped it up. Like I said, we're gonna go see it this weekend. I can't wait. But I see anything weird.
I don't think that's not gonna happen down here because one, they don't be getting down like that in the movies here. Like maybe the Marvel movies only, but they're even past that on the Marvel movies.
Yeah, I ain't worried. So where I'm going,
Baltimore, they ain't gonna do nothing crazy in Baltimore.
I ain't worried about it.
And like I said, I mean, hey, anywhere you can't, because put it this way. I don't know if I know I've been, Kane, I know you've been, Shaun, I don't know if you have. If anyone's ever been in a haunted house, you go to the haunted attraction and you understand, hey, this is not real. This is not real. No matter what happens, this is not real. But when you put in these interesting fight or flight situations, And the line between, wait, I know this ain't real, is it? Yeah. Then things
Listen,
pop up.
listen, listen. My daughter bust her head open. We'll take her to get stitches at a haunted house because it got so scary in one of them spots. She ran into a beam.
Oh my.
And we still was like, hey, because we're all like, it's not real, but they still get you. You know what I'm saying? They still get you sometimes.
I mean, you get scared, but you know you ain't gonna die.
Yeah, listen, no, it was so bad that they broke character. They was like, oh no, let's get you out of here, like to get us out of there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they have to. If some emergencies happen, even though a lot of them.
So even when you go and you know, like, listen, this is just people in costumes. This stuff's just scary. So even if you go to those movie theaters, why would you take that risk on that? You know what I'm saying? You go to a scary movie, you know it's fake, but your heart still be racing.
Yeah, but it's for the thrill.
See,
you not expect the actual face hugger to be running by your leg.
Yeah, and you see, it's gonna take a second for me to figure out what that is, and I know I can't stomp it because it's filled with acid.
I'm field goal putting that month, and I'm out.
I'm like a COVID man.
All right, so I know you got to take off. We got to do a recap real quick here. Let me run it back and then touch everything. We touched on a lot. State from the top. Let's see. Our Australian breakdancer. Yeah, that's you and Iggy. I'll stay over there in Australia. Shout out to Stacey Patton. Great article. Brendan Depa getting 5 years in prison, like real prison. This is a failure of the maybe it's not a failure system. Maybe that's exactly what the
there you go. I'm about to say there you go. Don't say that.
It failed everybody. That's
all part of the plan.
Trump flying around in Epstein's plane. That's just a weird bit of, oh my gosh, we had no idea. Believe it or not. Yeah, Tatum shouldn't have got benched in the Olympics. Like, this is why y'all like, I believe I go with what Teague said. The league better watch out. And when Golden State comes to Boston, I expect a 30-point blowout. And Alien Romulus, y'all done went all out with the promos. That was risky. You knew where to do that at. You knew where to try that at. All right. Whose recap is up?
Well, I guess I because I got to be out in a few minutes. Ray Gun, her terrible performance outshined some really good performances in what could have been a really good breakout for breakdancing. That's the only problem I had with her. I'm cool with the jokes though. I'm still here for the jokes too. What was our Brendan Depa? You know, I've already stated my feelings multiple times. I just think the system failed everybody in that situation. It failed everyone. And I don't know. It's not. No one's gonna come out of this any better. Trump on Epstein's plane, like I said, like I don't believe nothing he said anyway. So I mean, and it's on brand for him. So I mean, none of that's off brand, and it doesn't hurt him at all in any way, shape, or form. With his voters. Jason Tatum, as far as him getting more playing time in the Olympics, I felt like there were spots that maybe Steve Kerr could have played him, but I don't feel like it was like some kind of insult. He was struggling. Even when he played, he struggled. He struggled in the first half of the France game. And he started. He started him in the gold medal game. And he struggled and had to sit down. And so, I mean, I'm not mad at it. Alien, I just can't wait to go see it, right? I'm gonna laugh at these face huggers doing a Diddy in these folks' face. It's gonna be hilarious and a little bit thrilling and scary. I like these new Alien movies. They've all been pretty good. Even Prometheus that a lot of people didn't like, I liked it as an origin story.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was to me.
I liked it as an origin story. You know what I'm saying? It didn't stand alone, but it set you up for, Covenant. And now, Romulus actually takes place, I think, after the first.
Yeah, it's in between Alien and Aliens.
Yeah. And so there's also going to be a show coming on.
Oh, that's right.
I can't remember if it's Hulu or if it's going to be on Max or listen, I got all of the streaming services anyway. So they got a show soon. So I'm going to be on it. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on that. I do appreciate being on the show. I love kicking it with y'all. It's time for me to go pick my daughter up. So,
All right, brother. Thank you for coming out. All
Yeah.
right, sir.
Be safe.
all right, I appreciate it.
All righty. Okay, your recap, sir.
Um, Australian Aussie. Well, that's the same thing. What am I doing? I just said the same thing twice. Yeah. Shout out to Australian Iggy Azalea. I guess you did your thing by not doing your thing, but it's only a one-time thing, so it's over with. Giving Brandon Depa 5 years, yeah, that's stupid. So many systems, everything failed. System failed, everything failed, but it's by design, so maybe it did fail. But they failed the kid, which endangered him and the person that got attacked, the woman that got attacked. So I think he should be in a mental hospital or home house arrest, something to actually fix the problem and not make it worse. But that's just me. Prison is not for everybody. Like I said earlier, it should be for special people. But you know, when the prison system is business and not about actual um rehabilitation, it doesn't matter. Um the Trump thing doesn't surprise me, so I don't care. And Tatum play like cheeks, man. Otter shit. So if you play like otter shit, you don't play. I don't know what to tell you. He couldn't hit a shot and he wasn't playing defense like he should. So, but it was disrespectful to get DNP. He should have never got DNP. Like, play him a couple minutes just to see if he got something, especially against Server. We could have actually used him. It might not have been as close because we needed size. But and Aliens, can't wait to see it. See it this week, end of the week. So I already know ain't no face huggers and no chest bursts gonna happen. Because if it does, I'm just leaving the theater. I'm not dealing with that. But yeah.
I ain't worried here. It is Texas. They know better. They gonna put a blicky out real quick. Something goes strange.
I don't do none of that shit here. So I ain't worried about it.
Move that. And as always, special thanks to my man coming through again, Shaun. You'll be probably seeing him a lot more often. We have cool stuff to talk about. But on behalf of myself, co-host, our special guest, the Yeah I Said It podcast, we will check in with you all next week. Peace.
Yeah.